different kinds of killer whales. Scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, have different body types, and even pursue different kinds of food. But even though there are different kinds of killer whales, they're all still considered members of the same species, or Sinus orca. One of the questions that we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, that answer would depend on which ecotype you're talking about. Is it a 16-foot female in Iceland or a 30-foot male in Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for our male killer whales, Kayukin and Tuar.
Awesome! Well, let's see what questions we've received about them. Oh, here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hand if you've ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Wow, that's a lot. Then you should meet our dedicated team of trainers who interact with our family of killer whales here every day. You've already met JJ. JJ, who else do we have joining us today?
Joining me here today, I have my good friends and fellow trainers, Jenny and Jamie.
Our killer whale trainers are so passionate about what they do here every day. And that makes me think of another great question. Do the trainers talk to the whales? I'll let you answer that one, JJ.
You know, that is a great question. And while we may not talk to the whales like you and I talk to each other, we've taught them a variety of signals that help us to communicate with them. For example, our trainers bend at the waist. The whales nod their head in an up and down motion. And we've also taught them a variety of mimic behaviors. So if our trainers lift their arms up in the air, the whales will mirror them by lifting their perch-work flippers out of the water. Now I need your guys' help for this one. If we give them a great big wave, they'll even wave right back at us. Now this ongoing communication plays an important part in developing the strong relationships that we have with each one of these whales. Because of this connection, one of the things we're able to do is answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this.
Recently, SeaWorld completed groundbreaking research that helped us to determine a killer whale's hearing ability. Now, we taught them to respond to a hearing test very similar to one that you or I might take at the doctor's office. This information helped us determine that killer whales have remarkable hearing abilities, even at frequencies much higher than humans can detect. Now, all of this data was gathered to help policymakers develop laws that will protect wild whales and dolphins from one of their biggest threats, noise pollution that's associated with boat traffic.
So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our parks to the wild and back again, means everyone benefits. Wow, isn't that a lot of questions? Well, believe it or not, we get them every day.
We sure do. And to answer that first question, our whales communicate with each other using all sorts of vocalizations. Let's take a listen and see what they have to say.
killer whale in each pod has their own unique set of calls or dialect. Another way they communicate is by using their bodies, as demonstrated by these side slopes at the sides of the pool. When a whale uses their body to slap the water, it creates commotion both above and below the surface. And that makes this individual wonder, why do whales jump? Well, guess what? I just so happen to have that emoji. A jump like that is called a breach. It makes a sound on top of the water. This can be used to show their excitement, maybe display a little power, or to get the attention of the other whales. Other ways they communicate is by blowing bubbles, bumping into each other, or even scratching each other with their teeth, causing rape marks. Rape marks are the multi-line marks that you may see on the skin of killer whales and dolphins. This is just one of the ways that these animals display dominance over one another during social interactions, both here at SeaWorld and also out there in the wild. We've just learned that killer whales communicate with each other by using vocalizations and body language. But do you remember how we communicate with them? That's right, with signals. Here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales every day, and we want the next generation to be able to do the same.
We absolutely do. And now it's time for my favorite part of the show. Joining our trainers down in the glass, we have 2 volunteers who are going to help us demonstrate how we use hand signals just a little bit more. On the left side, interacting with Stuart, we have Hunter. And over on the right side, meeting Cayuga, we have Bryce. All right, let's start off by introducing ourselves to the whales by giving them a great big wave. Very nice. You guys are communicating with our whales using the same hand signals that our trainers use. Okay, next up, we're going to try one of those mimic behaviors. So let's spin around in a circle. Very nice. The whales are mimicking you. Okay, last one. Do you remember that hand signal I taught you before the show? On the count of 3, you're going to show that hand signal to the whales. 1, 2, 3. Now that is Cayuga and Tuar's way of reminding everyone that Shaman Theater is a 24-hour splash zone. Thank you so much for interacting with our whales today. We'd love for you guys to have these special whale tail necklaces so you'll always remember meeting Cayuga and Tuar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for Hunter and Bryce.
Great job, kids! I think we have some future animal trainers on our hands. And that reminds me of one of the most important questions that we get asked. Has having a killer whale breeding program here at SeaWorld benefited whales in the wild? Absolutely. Our successful breeding program has enabled us to determine the developmental needs of pregnant mothers, newborn calves, and young killer whales. This information is critical because this is the time when killer whales are most vulnerable in the wild. Gaining this kind of knowledge is only possible through the research we do right here at SeaWorld.